As above, so below, as within, so without. That's pretty much a basic fundamental tenet in Western mystery traditions, but it also pretty much sums up Chinese metaphysical theory as well. Whether you're talking about traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, or reflexology to feng shui, tai chi, palmistry, and even face reading, there's this idea that one acupuncture point on my palm or acupressure point on my palm can access my intestines or my kidney. Or one specific area of my home can access my fortune and wealth luck. If I want to take a super deep dive into Chinese occultism, into the realm of inner alchemy, astral projection through certain gateways from my brain is believed to access certain parts of society's government. Astrology, of course, is the idea that certain planetary alignments way up in the heavens will affect certain areas and events in your life. Universally, almost in any mystery tradition, East or West, there's this principle that you can flip natal astrology on its head, and through proactive access to the energies of certain planetary alignments, you can create changes to those events in your life. So not only can looking at the heavens at a particular moment give you a sense of events that will happen, but then you can use those same energies, those planetary energies that are telling you what's going to go on, and use them to create change, to make things happen. How we're going to be engaging with the tarot deck in this course is similar. Traditional tarot reading is based on the principle that cards selected into a spread during a reading denote certain events in your life and reveal facets of time-space. Likewise, we're turning that on its head and flipping it around. Now we're using specific cards in the tarot deck to gain proactive access to archetypal energies of those cards and thereby create changes in the events of our lives. So just like certain reflexology techniques applied to the palm of my hand is believed by traditional Chinese holistic healers as being able to drain my lymph nodes, for example, and facilitate detox, or keeping specific objects in specific areas of my home can regulate environmental qi energy and in that way promote more prosperity. As within, so without. Therefore, cards in the tarot deck, when empowered, can become a nexus point or gateway that allows us to access certain energies or powers in the world around us and also inside of us, hence, as within, so without. That's the premise of this course. But to create that nexus or establish a sympathetic power by association, you need to connect the card's outer archetype with an inner point inside of your subconscious. That's the gateway or portal to a latent inner power. That's where shadow work is going to come in. Shadow work is the process you have to undergo to take a key represented by a card you'll be selecting from the tarot deck and finding the door inside of you that the key unlocks. When you unlock that door, you gain access to or attain the particular personal power associated with that key. That's the premise of this course. We're going to be taking a two-pronged approach, which means focusing on practical measures and also metaphysical measures. Practical is some of the social psychology covered in the course, and also goal setting, intention setting, visualization techniques, and monthly self-audits that will motivate you to stay on track. Metaphysical is about heightening consciousness through ritual work and also qi energy cultivation. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the qi energy cultivation exercises and why I thought that it was important to include in terms of accruing power. So we want to really look at it twofold, metaphysical and physical. And in terms of chi cultivation, I believe so strongly in it. It's something that I've been taught from a very young age. It's something that I feel like has always been very beneficial in my life. So I wanted to give a concrete example. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I had what was referred to as lazy eye. And actually, I had to wear the patch, and I didn't wear the patch because I was so embarrassed by the patch. But I had a lazy eye, and it was a very severe form of astigmatism, to the point where I remember at 9 years old, the optometrist took my mom aside, my mom and father, and sat all three of us down and told them that there was a very strong likelihood, in fact, he could guarantee that my eyesight, my lazy eye, was so bad that I would be legally blind by the time I was 30 years old. And for a few years after 8 or 9, it got worse. It really was a very serious issue how bad my lazy eye was, and it was kind of a wandering eye as well. And I did have to wear the patch. I remember it was such a big dramatic thing in my life. My parents fighting me, making me wear the eye patch, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not wearing a freaking eye patch. Anyway, and so that was a really big issue, and my mom was so scared that I was going to go blind in my left eye by the time I was 30. And so she really forced me to do these chi energy cultivation exercises, and they involved hand mudras, and it was a chi cultivation that I had to do on a daily basis. And her explanation was that by manipulating your chi energy, you could try to get your body to heal itself, and it's working with your own chi energy to force your body to generate, or at the most optimize, its energy and vitality in a way that could promote physical strength, physical health, and rejuvenation. And so I've always had this point or principle driven into my mindset that you can use chi cultivation to help you generate personal power. It can be used for things like physical health, and I'm not saying to not go to the doctor. In fact, I'm such a huge proponent of medical technology. I'm a huge proponent of science, okay, and professional medical professionals. But it does sort of help to have the dual lane system when approaching a problem. And my mom took care of that metaphysical side for me, and it really did help. Age 30 went a while ago. I won't tell you how long ago, but I'm definitely not 30, and I am not legally blind. My left eye, the lazy eye, I still have astigmatism, and astigmatism still is an issue for me, so that there are a lot of things that I can't do. I have some issue with depth perception, but more or less I'm fine. I have very ordinary eyesight issues that a lot of other people have, and it really isn't a problem the way the optometrist, who was a very good optometrist, by the way, I don't think there was anything wrong with him. I think he was right. I mean, if I had kept things at the pace they were going naturally, I probably would have been legally blind, and I really would have had an issue with the lazy eye in my left eye even today. But I don't, and I don't because of the chi energy cultivation that my mother taught me and that I'm going to teach you in this class. Even though the example that I gave for chi energy cultivation was specifically physical health related, for me it was my lazy eye. That's not the limitation of chi energy cultivation. The whole idea is strength training. Just like how if you go to the gym and you work out your muscles, the consistent training of your physical muscles will strengthen those muscles and allow you to live longer, be healthier, prosper, and also just be physically stronger, right? And so that's the same idea. It's generating more power, more personal power, so you can use that power and wield it in any way that you'd like. The physical strength is so that you can lift things and be more athletic, but the metaphysical side of chi energy cultivation really helps promote the ability to get farther ahead. It promotes the ability to surpass other people because you have greater drive, you have greater stamina, and it's not a physical thing, it's something about your chi. You have more chi to give, and so that's why we do chi energy cultivation. Recently, in the news, I don't know if you've heard, Donald Trump made this comment about how people have a finite amount of physical energy or energy, personal energy, and so when they use it up, then they're gone. And so his conclusion, which was oversimplified and goofy, his conclusion was that ergo exercise is bad for you because when you exercise or run marathons, you are draining your energy, and so you will live a shorter life. That was his, sort of weird conclusion. But I do want to point out something that is serious, that in terms of what he said, there is a kernel of truth in there when it comes to traditional Chinese medicine. He just like completely perverted it, however. The idea is, yes, of course, you're born with a finite amount of energy, like, X. You're born with this amount of energy, but you can increase it or you can do things that decrease it. So there's this idea, for example, if you drink too much alcohol or take or abuse drugs, you're decreasing your amount of chi energy, and that translates into physical health, physical vitality, and longevity, right? But it translates in other ways that can hinder success as well. And so the Chinese use the vocabulary of chi energy to explain the hindrances in success and the hindrances in physical longevity. Now, there are also things you can do to, of course, increase it. So let's say you were born with this amount of finite chi energy. You have ways to increase and expand that amount. So just because you're born with X amount doesn't mean you stick with X amount and then it just keeps on decreasing. You can increase it. That's where chi energy cultivation comes in. So no matter what you did in the past in terms of abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, or not having taken care of your physical body, or not really utilized your chi energy, the chi energy cultivation helps strengthen your chi and also increase that finite amount of vitality that you have. When you have strengthened and expanded personal vitality, that chi that you've cultivated, it not only helps in terms of physical health, which is what my personal example was all about, but it also promotes your ability to succeed. It promotes your motivation. It gives you greater drive, and it helps you get ahead because you have more energy to expand. So that's why chi energy cultivation is such a large component of the course materials and my proposal for how you can gain and attain personal power. I realized I wanted to cover a lot of ground with this course, and video lectures weren't the most productive or efficient method of conveying all of the information, so I decided to write you a book. Well, an ebook. At this time, you're going to want to download the entire ebook from your course materials and skim through the book just to get a sense of what this course is going to be all about. You aren't going to be reading the book cover to cover, so don't worry about that. That's not how you're going to be using the guidebook. The point is to identify your current lack mentality. And what your current lack mentality is changes, evolves, and is based on where you are right now in life. So in that sense, you can revisit this book time and time again, and the methodology of the book at the many stages of your life path. Anyway, once you've identified your lack mentality and the power you need that you need access to in order to cure that lack mentality, you'll focus only on that section of the course guidebook. Okay, so video number 9 and the last module of this course is totally optional. It's just a place where I get more personal about why I'm such a proponent of shadow work and how acknowledging and integrating my shadow with my conscious external self is exactly how I manage to achieve my goals. So I get a bit more personal in video number 9. At this time, you can either skip down to video 9 and go through the final module, then return back to video number 2 and proceed with the chronology of the modules, or you can just stay with the chronology, and if you're just interested in the meat and bones of the course at this time, proceed on to video number 2.